Welcome to a Healthy Living video blog at workoutmaster.com. This is Ruben.
And this is Aram.
Today we're going to talk about being thin or being heavy, if it's an indication of health or not. Let's tear this one apart.
Absolutely. The premise of the program is to identify whether our body can actually tell the truth by the way it looks. Oftentimes people associate with being heavy with being unhealthy. It's not always the case, because you could be in the process of getting very healthy, that you need to gain some weight. And oftentimes being thin doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually healthy.
So it seems like an approach when you observe somebody, how somebody looks. If they're thin, a lot of people assume that that person is healthy. Now, a lot of times they also look at somebody who is heavy and they assume that person is sick. And the society's like stigma or something is it's all against heavier people and for people that are thinner. Even though there's a lot of times you'll see very unhealthy, thin people.
Yeah, absolutely. There's many people that the health levels are minimal and they're actually very, very thin. And you'll say, well, by just the looks, you'll figure this person is healthy. Not necessarily the case. Well, how the whole conversation between Aram and I came about is on the fact that you actually need energy in order to lose weight. And in order to lose weight, your body has to be healthy for you to have that energy.
A lot of times also people don't want to invest in the nutritional program unless they're going to get a quick weight loss goals.
Well, that's not going to happen, because actually losing weight once you have reached a certain age, and this could be individual from person to person, is going to be very difficult to lose weight, especially if in your previous decades of your life you have been trying and exercising many different types of diets. The body will resist more and more to making new
Well,
changes.
it's not that it's not going to happen. A lot of times people start certain program and they get pretty decent result right away, but it not necessarily means that it should happen right away.
That's correct.
So the quick weight loss goal in many cases is nothing but a myth. In a way you can achieve it with very specific methods, like a calorie counting, you can do like a starvation diet, but it will be a short-term result. It will not be a long-term result.
Well, and
it definitely does not mean that you're actually going to get healthy.
That is correct. Thank you for mentioning that, because that's the fact of the matter, that just because you're losing weight, that means that you're actually doing it in a healthy fashion. But everybody will kind of dismiss that whole statement right there, and they figure that losing weight is the first thing they have to do in order to get healthy. And it's quite oftentimes the opposite, because most people, in order to reestablish the metabolic function to an optimal rate, they actually need to gain some weight for the body to have all that energy that they have been depriving themselves for X amount of years or time, in order to have that energy to be able to create that burn of calories that the body has in excess of in storage and be able to put to a use. So obviously you see the weight, actually your body fat decreasing. But first and foremost is that you have to do it in a healthy and productive fashion, not just cutting calories dramatically or going to massive exercise programs that will definitely make you lose weight, yeah. But the consequences to that is that it will destroy your metabolic rate, and at the end, what you find out yourself is that a couple months down the line, you have gained the weight that you had previously, and then you add a couple extra or many pounds as a side effect of that process.
So sacrificing your health in a way just to be skinny with a hope to be skinny and healthy, a lot of times is not that good of an idea.
Right.
So our approach, at least that's what we thrive for, is Ruben and I trying to find a way to be healthier. Now, unfortunately, in today's world, people think of, again, health as thinness, and unless you're super skinny, somehow they don't believe that things are working properly. But nonetheless, it's not for us to prove it or disprove it.
Nope.
It's a kind of like a quest that we are on ourselves. We do hope that there's a sort of understanding going on between people that actually spend quite a lot of time within the health industry to understand that health is probably more important than your looks. And if you understand that, you're going to start thinking of what is the actually definition of health. And one of the things that we talked about is if you measure your temperature and your pulse, that should give you a pretty decent understanding if your body works properly.
If your body is working well, absolutely. They're in their opposite side of that, just looking in the mirror and seeing yourself, very lean or very defined, is not necessarily means that you're healthy, because your body could be in a downward spiral. It's just not happening at that precise time. It will be a matter of time before it hits you.
Yeah.
So understand that the most important thing that you do, and in order to get thin, it will always be a side effect of being very healthy.
Now, besides the temperature and the pulse, then another amazing way to find out if you're healthy or not is by actually understanding how you feel. And if you feel excellent, without obviously drugs to get you healthy, feeling good for like a few hours, if you're actually thriving through the day, the chances are you're a healthy person, and God bless you, we'll want to be like you one day. And that's basically our idea. Anything else that you want to add for today?
Yes, one of the facts is, for you to think what's more important and in which category do you want to put yourself, or to what philosophy do you want to adhere yourself to? Do you want to be healthy and as a side effect look great? Or is looking great the main objective that you have, and whatever happens to your health, you pretty much don't care? I think that, bottom line, when you ask people what's more important to them, those that will tell you that obviously their health is more important than their looks per se, are actually going towards thriving a little bit better than those that are mainly concerned about their looks and not so much put so much attention to their health. So it's the basis of the episode is to bring awareness that it has to follow a certain function in order for it to work.
Yeah, and it also shouldn't be an excuse to gain weight by saying, "Oh, I'm gaining weight because I'm getting healthy." It shouldn't be an excuse also. It should be maintained as something that is a possibility that's happening. Yeah.
Right, and when it happens, it's just an adjustment approach that the body is using to compensate for the lack of nutrition that you might be receiving for a long time, and all of a sudden the body does not know what to do with it, and in order to revive your metabolic rate, the body has to have that energy and the confidence that you're not going to pull that card out of your sleeve and do something else that the body will resent you later for.
The more you study your human body, you understand it's a system of the system, so it's not that simple. There's a lot of different things can come into play, and the more things that you can kind of fix it up and approach it the right way, better results you're going to have.
That's it.
Thank you very much for watching. Remember, your future looks better already. Until the next time.